Claire's back to bolt our 3 sections together. It's all hands on deck, and this is where my expertise comes in.
It's just about as awkward as you could possibly design something.
This is where the real crucial stuff's going on. This ain't straight, that ain't fixing together, no way. No amount of pipes and rubber seals matter if this ain't...
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel like an Australian wicketkeeper down here.
Well, that was pretty good, I think.
I'm not convinced by this rubber seal thing, though.
So, Ian, are you telling me, with all these bolts and rivets, that is actually what is going to be between a man drowning or living?
That's the
that
one.
flimsy bit of rubber?
That's it, yeah.
And who made this?
Claire.
Claire?
What's your problem, eh?
Out of your mum's old wetsuit and one of those hole punches you get on office desks. I can't believe it. We've got this far, and that's what we're hoping will seal this thing. Well, good luck. That's all I can say.
No worries, mate.
That's it. Claire, I really don't fancy this.
Go on, get in there. You got to go in it. You got to get in it.
Well, if it means I don't have to go when it's in the water, I'll give it a go.
I don't think there's any graceful way to get in.
No. An arabesque and a cartwheel, maybe?
No, that wasn't much of a struggle.
I'm not in yet.
Can you get your shoulders in? Quite
No.
tight. Oh, you got your arm stuck?
Are they midgets that drove this?
No.
German midget.
Right. Happy?
That's extremely unpleasant. It's like being locked in an outside lavatory with a load of knobs and buttons in it. How did you get out, by the way? Where's the ejector button?
It's finished, but somehow I think it's lacking a little bite.
It's the day before our submarine is due to dive, and number 8 dock is being made ready with 2.5 million gallons of water. Suggs,
That's what it needed, isn't it?
you've been putting in some overtime, haven't you? I think she looks magnificent. I wonder if Tom will agree. He's come down to have his first look around.
Hello, mate. How are you?
He's going to take my place and pilot the submarine.
Well done, Tom. You're a braver man than I.
I'm afraid I'm not up to it, so...
What do you think?
Well, I can't wait. It's absolutely wonderful. It's phenomenal, isn't it? What a thing. Can I touch it?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
So you're all ready to go then, Tom?
Yes, absolutely. We need to do some initial testing, obviously, just to see that she's pressure tight inside, do a wee squeeze test on her. Yeah, I'm sure she is. I'm sure she is.
And waterproof.
And waterproof, absolutely, yeah.
To a degree.
Yeah, I'm up for it. Let's get it in the water.
Great.
Let's go for it.
We're going to start by doing the very simplest test, dunking her in the water to see if she leaks. All our hard work is under the spotlight now, and Ian's reputation's on the line.
Slightly nervous?
But it's Tom who's risking his life. It's his decision whether he goes ahead tomorrow or not. Failure today could mean the end of the project.
Will it sink or will it swim?
Tom's backup crew are on the dockside and in constant communication.
Yeah, I'm just looking here. I've got a bit of water here.
Uh-oh, there's a problem.
Yeah, it seems to be coming from up forward.
Yeah, Roger. Any concerns at all, obviously, we'll bring you out of the water, so it's your call, keep your eye on it, and when you're not happy, we'll lift you back out again.
Roger. It looks like a steady flow coming from somewhere.
Yeah, Roger that.
Our worst fears are realised. There's a leak, and it's a bad one.
Yeah, I've got my pop up.
After only 5 minutes, Tom calls off the test.
And I switched off all my life support to listen, and all of a sudden I heard running water, of course, which is a matter I didn't want to hear. and there it was coming into my feet.
The leak is bad. Even in this short time, the floor is covered, and we'd have been swamped if we'd left it any longer.
You think this is how the Germans did it? I think not.
But even though we know it's leaking, and leaking badly, no one is sure where the water is coming from. So it's back to the workshop for some hard talking.
Everyone has an opinion on how to find the leak, but the simplest solution is a bit like how you'd find a puncture in a bicycle tyre. Air is pumped inside the submarine at pressure. It's then a case of listening to find the hissing air. But although we can hear it clearly, we just can't pinpoint exactly where it's coming from.
It's cutting through somewhere, yeah. Yeah.
Fortunately, Tom's brought with him a secret weapon, a special fluid like posh washing up liquid. Simple and effective. It shows a massive leak around the front joint, and it's one of my rubber seals that's playing up. There's only one solution, and there's no avoiding it. We're going to have to pull the front end apart, which means undoing 50 bolts, resealing the joints, then putting it all back together again, hoping for the best. It's going to be a late night, and there'll be no time to check this seal again before tomorrow.
Well, she's a different animal.
Yeah. And fully operational.
God. I mean, what you've done here is brought history back to life.
4 months ago, this Beaver was a washed-up warship. It was just a collection of rusty sections and broken dials. Now, incredibly, we've made it seaworthy, ready to dive for the first time in 60 years. It's a massive achievement, but it won't mean a thing if she's not watertight and sinks for real. Have our overnight repairs worked?
I'm really looking forward to this, and so, by the looks of things, it's everybody else. Almost the entire dockyard has turned out to see this thing go in the water. Wonderful.
There are some of the finest shipwrights in the world gathered around the dock, but there's only one man who really knows if we've done our job properly. The only person here who's actually seen one of these weapons in action. Our veteran Beaver operator, Heinz Hubler, who's flown over from Frankfurt with his son Gerhard.
Ein Beaver, wie ich in Erinnerung habe, wie viele junge Leute enttäuscht wurden und auch ihr Leben lassen mussten.
He's happy to see the Beaver after so many years, but he still remembers that many of the young people died because of Beaver and died in combat.
Of course, of course. Come and have a closer look, Heinz, yes. Yes, of course.
It's the first time he or anyone else has seen an operational Beaver since the end of the war.
Museums.
Heinz is one of the few men who piloted these craft and survived.
It's very comfortable.
Ja, komfortabel. Ja. Steuerung.
It's okay, yeah?
Ja.
Das ist eine Schönheit, ne?
She's good, yeah? Yeah.
She's an old beauty.
She's an old beauty, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get in there and dive her and see what she does.
Thankfully, Heinz is impressed by its authenticity and gives it the thumbs up. We're good to go.
Understood.
Even though I know I can't dive her, I just want to sit inside and get some small idea of what Heinz and his comrades must have felt like going to war. I've closed the hatch just to see what it feels like down here, but the water lapping just outside, and it's incredibly claustrophobic. It makes me realise how terrifying it must have been for those young men floating in the ocean, freezing cold, lost, or just waiting for an aircraft attack.
Heinz survived those times, and now those tragic hostilities are history. He and Commander Jeff Tull are two men bound by the camaraderie that exists between all submariners.
Commander Tull, how do you feel about chaps like this who drove these in combat?
Well, I just really full of admiration for their courage and their daring. But I think I can understand why they did it. They're tremendously brave young men.
Everyone on the dockside wants to see this Beaver running underwater, but this is a 60-year-old, untested machine. So to start with, Tom will take her down while still attached to the crane. Have our repairs sealed the leaks?
Control, this is B105, hatch 1 is shut.
I think it's about to disappear into the dock, isn't it now?
Will we ever see it again?
This is a far cry from L5, Tom's multi-million-pound state-of-the-art submersible. Without modern gauges or alarms, he will have to rely on his experience and instincts and be ready to react to any leak or failure. I don't really need to ask you, Ian, but how are you feeling?
Extremely nervous.
It shows on your face.
Does it really? Looking that grey, am I?
You're looking very, very pale.
I can't hear what Tom's saying. I don't know what's happening. I mean, presumably there's no leaks and everything's working okay. It seems to be all right. I just don't know. But I'm certainly very nervous. I mean, somebody's actually inside that submarine.
For the first time in over half a century, a manned beaver sinks beneath the waves. She sinks all right, but when Tom blows her tanks, will she resurface or just sit on the bottom of the dock? We can only wait and hope her systems work.
Brilliant.
Result!
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
The great news is, our repairs are holding. The beaver is watertight.
Fantastic that was, wasn't it?
Next, Tom needs to test the motor before he can attempt an underwater dive.
She looks brilliant.
Marvellous.
Fantastic. Her motor works like a dream.
I suppose for a submariner, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, isn't it? I mean, you're not going to get many of those, are you?
It's the only working beaver in the world.
Yeah.
And to experience a submarine technology from the 1940s, it's quite something.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. That looked absolutely fantastic,
It
Tom.
was fantastic. It felt great.
Charging up and down the dock.
Oh, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. If only that dock gate wasn't there, I'd be off.
And what's it like being cooped up in such a small space?
Well, I don't feel cooped up, you see, because I do this all the time, but
Do you feel
I suppose...
at home down there,
absolutely wonderful.
It's a fantastic result so far. Tom is confident enough to put the beaver to the ultimate test. Will she dive?
Am I clear to dive?
You are clear to vent when ready.
Venting now.
Venting now, Roger.
Ecstatic, what a wonderful thing.
Tom's breathtaking underwater running shows how effective these mini-subs could be. If these beavers had become operational just a few months earlier, ready for D-Day, they could have inflicted heavy losses, perhaps changing the course of the war. Whatever the case, our triumphant restoration has shown that the Beaver was a more effective submarine than the history books suggest. This restoration has been an incredible achievement, transforming a pile of scrap into a fully functioning slice of history. The Royal Navy Submarine Museum will now be the proud owners of the only operational Second World War submarine in the whole world.
Don't forget to visit the Salvage Squad website at channel4.com/science to find out more about the show. This Saturday